2nd, 2019, 4:30 p.m. That is where we bring in Monica Robbins right now to talk more about some of the life lessons that you've learned along the way.
Yeah, I was putting a story together for the 6 o'clock news. That story did not make the air. I got a phone call instead from my doctor to tell me that I had a brain tumor.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I remember that day. I mean, terrifying.
Yeah.
Or when you came out with the news.
Yeah, when I came out with the news, because ironically, I kept going to work every day for the next 3.5 months, and only about 6 people knew. And that's the way I chose to handle it. So, you know, it was one of those things, I learned a lot of life lessons, and the first is perhaps the most important. Worry is a wasted emotion, because it's the first thing we all do when given information we have no control over. And if you spend all your time worrying, you will lose energy to act on the things you do have control over. And believe me, there are a lot of things you have in your power. You just need to sit down, take a few deep breaths, and make a list. Now, what are the things I can control? What are the things I cannot control? And what are the things I need to let God or the universe take over for me? Once you have that in front of you, it's like a huge weight gets lifted off your shoulders and your perspective changes. One of the first things I was told to do was get my affairs in order. And yes, initially it scared me senseless. I immediately thought it meant I was going to die, until my doctor's nurse put it in perspective and asked me, why on earth do you not have your affairs in order? What was I waiting for? She gave me something I had control over. She gave me something to focus on, and she taught me my first lesson. Now, the second thing is find the funny in everything. The day I was diagnosed, I had the bosses in the green room. I was laughing and crying at the same time, and I found it so ironic that the health reporter had a brain tumor. I started cracking jokes about it and watched the blood drain from their faces in horror. Yeah, I was then saying to them, look, we all need to laugh about this, because to me, laughter is medicine. I will find the funny about every aspect of this journey, and I did. Laughter got me through some of my most difficult days. And I was upset that they ruined my Frankenstein costume, because they took out 51 staples out of my head on Halloween. And yes, I keep them on my desk. And Maureen, this is them.
Oh
my goodness.
Yeah, and I'm pretty proud of the fact that I also wore out two 6mm drill bits in my skull. Not everyone can say their head is that hard. But yes, these are.
And that's why we love Monica.
Yeah, I know this is super gross, but yeah, I keep them on my desk as a reminder. They wouldn't give me the drill bits, though.
Well, maybe for Christmas.
Maybe for Christmas. I always wanted to go to Home Depot and pick some up, though.
You seriously, I mean, I remember the time and all the updates that you gave, and just how strong you were. And I know some of us would talk in the newsroom, and I would always say, I don't know if I would be that strong. And so anybody who's going through anything, what you just said is such a playbook for how to handle any sort of bad news or anything. Did you ever feel like, you know, would I be that person if I received bad news? You know,
I got to tell you, everybody said that. Everyone says, oh, you're so strong. No, I wasn't. And none of us know how strong we are until, you know, you're given something like this. And I have to be honest with you, I didn't know what else to do. You know, when you're told you have a brain tumor, you know, there is no playbook for that. And you're just given this, and then the next thing is, you know, what do you have to do? You just decide to take action, or go in a closet and die. And that wasn't an option for me. So you take one day at a time. And for me, it was 5 minutes at a time. Wow. That's how I had to live my life, because it was so overwhelming. Everything was so overwhelming. And for me, the only thing I had control over was, you know what, I'm just going to get up and I'm going to keep going to work, because that's all I knew. You know, I'm just going to keep living my life as normal. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but I'm going to do one thing at a time that I have control over. And that's how I did it. And I just kept laughing about it. All the tasteless jokes, nothing offended me. I just said, come on, bring it, make me laugh as much as possible. And you know, coming up at 6, Russ and I will go over a few more life lessons I learned. And Christy keeps telling me, will you please write a book?
Yes,
you know, will you please write a book? And there's so much. There's so much that, you know, I think that the problem is, I really wish a brain tumor didn't have to teach me all of these things. And I think most of us know these things. It's just one of those things that, you know, maybe you just need to get shaken a couple of times.
Yeah.
But all of us get curveballs. All of us get speed bumps thrown up in front of us. Some are just a little higher than others. But you know what? You climb.
But Monica, I mean, can you believe 5 years
I know.
after all of this,
Well,
you're sitting here and this is what we're talking about?
No, because they told me there's a 50-50 shot I'm not going to get off the table. But the way I look at it is there was 50% chance I was going to get off the table.
There you go.
Yeah.
You know, that's the way you have to look at it.
I'm
Love
always
the lessons.
inspired by you, and I'm so glad that you are taking us back, taking a look back. I think so many people can learn from it.
Well, yeah, I woke up this morning and I'm like, oh, look, it's July 2nd. How about that? Yeah, 5 years.
Wow.
I know. I'm going to come over and shake those staples whenever I need some inspiration.
Well, we look forward to more of the conversation at 6.
Sure. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.